You know the difference between an amateur and a professional?
What's up, everybody? It's Real Balone back at it again. It's only been 6 months since I've done this thing. Gained a lot of weight, worked a lot of deals, learned a lot of new shit, traveled around. It's been a lot of fun. All right, so what am I doing today? Today's gonna be a fun day. All we're doing is a bunch of clerical work. We have mined a shit ton of data, and we're ready to put that data to use. First, let's cover some trends real fast. For interest rates. I mean, interest rates have kind of gone crazy. Today's rate 6.71, which is a huge drop from like just legit a month ago. Right, this was 2.12. Just a little over a month, it was at 7.13. So that's a significant drop. You know, that's people saving couple $100 probably on their mortgage, meaning that they can now afford a lot more property. So all this, I want to chat about things, but let's go into the 10-year. See what the 10 years down 0.02. Feds maintained their interest rates yesterday, which is very, very nice. I'm not signing up for that bullshit. Investors weigh the state of the U.S. economy. Let's give this a quick read. All right, U.S. Treasury yields dipped on Thursday as investors weighed the state of the U.S. economy. The day after the Federal Reserve held interest rates steady. 10-year Treasury note yield slipped more than 2 basis points, so that's like 0.02. Yield was less than what they always say this. 1 basis point is equal to 0.01. In a widely expected move on Wednesday, the Federal Open Market Committee (FOMC) kept its key borrowing rate in a range between 4.25 and 4.5. Fed officials also outlined the year, saying they will see another 0.5 percentage point of total rate cut in 2025. That's very, very good. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the dot plots, but the dot plots is definitely what they're talking about right there. The Fed typically move in 0.25 percentage points increments, meaning this could translate into 2 reductions. It's kind of a dope thing. Why don't we look at that real quick? All right. Actually, no. See, that's me getting distracted. Let me finish reading this to find out what else is causing the shares. During a press conference following the decision that the central bank would keep it elevated if required. She normally is bad. Normally people were like, nah, we don't like that. All right, if it's a hawkish statement, I guess, instead of dovish. That's what people call it. Hawkish meaning like bad, like you're forecasting bad things, and then dovish, you know, a dove, churchly. All right, if the economy remains strong and inflation does not continue to move substantially towards 2%, we can maintain policy restraint for longer, which is great. That indicates that it's not like they're going to go up. They're not going to increase their basis loan rate. All right, he said if the labor markets were to weaken or inflation were to fall more quickly than anticipated, we can ease policy accordingly. Also, very good news. To me, that's just saying that if they see some like really good activity, you know, inflation dropping down, you know, below 2.5, that's being CPI and PCE, they might, you know, even increase the amount of cuts they are going to do by the end of the year. The amounts came as investors are increasingly concerned about a slowing U.S. economy due to the effects of U.S. President Donald Trump's trade policies, particularly implementing tariffs on global trade partners. This has raised alarm bells about the possibility for a recession. Yeah, I mean, fucking tariffs have been really the reason why a bunch of things are going haywire. Nobody knows how the tariffs are gonna affect interest rates. Dude, my camera sucks. Oh, look at the blur. I don't mind. Makes me look cool. All right. I do think with the arrival of the tariffs, inflation's further progress may be delayed. That's the real reason why we don't see rates like dropping below. Because right now, you know, we have to keep these relatively high because, you know, basically those tariffs have been pushed back by a month each month. So we don't know if once those tariffs get put into place, what CPI PCE is going to go to. There's just no telling how that's going to affect the markets. So if it's rough, I mean, like we could see a spike in rates. You know, rates stay relatively close to the same till like further data comes in, judging whether or not this is going to be like a prolonged increase in inflation. But I mean, for sure, once those tariffs do come into place, we're going to see an increase in, you know, the consumer price index. The producer price index is definitely, that the PPI is definitely going to go up. It has to. This is going to cost them more to manufacture things, while at least getting them into the country. I don't know if that's going to go into their manufacturing costs. So I don't know. It's tough. It's tough out here, though. Basically, we're betting that there is going to be an increase in CPI and PPI in the future, in inflation in general. But we just don't know how much that's going to go, or if it'll even happen. Who knows? Maybe Trump says, nah, it's all right, it's cool, we're not going. But all right, so let's go on and check out that dot plot real fast. I was supposed to do this yesterday, right? So I'm going to open two of them up. Go. And then I also want to open up the one from December. This is to compare, see if there's been any change. So this right here is the dot plot. Dot plot just tells you where they think, right, the end of the year, where rates should be by the end of each year. So this row, this was the one from December. So this column right here is the end of 2023. Obviously, everyone was agreeing that rate should be finishing between 5.25 and 5.5. Predicting the end of 2020. Wait, which one did I pull up, bro? Was this December of 2023? What the hell? Did I really go down that much? I guess so. Nope, wrong thing. There we go. Projection materials. All right. Yeah, I was like, hold on, 5.25, 5.5. That doesn't seem like what it was at the end of this year. Yeah, so we had a bunch of people saying 4.25 to 4.5, and some people saying 4.5 to 4.75, 4.75 at the end of 2024, which is kind of what it ended at, right? I think it ended at 4.5, 4.25 to 4.5. All right, but this is what people were predicting for the end of 2025, right? Most people were predicting 2 rate cut, right? One from here and then one down further. Okay, here, let's you guys can see a little bit more, right? So this is the end of December, or December, I think 18th is when they so people were saying by the end of 2025 rate should be rate should be 3.75. So 2 rate cut, one from the current rate where it's at. What's promising is that, you know, you had a few people over here, right? There were more people who were thinking that it should go lower than there were that it should remain up. All right, but let's see what this one. Oh, that's beautiful right there. Oh wait, that's for 2026. So that's actually not that great. So if you see here, the majority of people were in this bracket. There was only 4 voting members. I was saying to keep rates above 4%. Now you have 8 members saying keep rates above 4%. That's not good. That shows that there was definitely a shift in their projections, or in their policy plan. I think a lot of people are saying maybe we slow down even more and go from like 2 cuts, right? This would mean 2 cuts if we ended at this margin right here. This would mean no cuts. This would mean 1 cut. Okay, so 4 members are voting for no cuts at all. 4 members are voting for just 1. We got 9 members here for 2 cuts by the end of the year, and then only 2 members voting for 3. Okay, so it looks like, in comparison to this year, right, because this column is the one of end of 2025, it looks like a lot of these people shifted upward. So I mean, it's not looking too hot. My opinion is that we'll likely be trying to gauge whether it's going to be 2 or 1 cuts by the end of this year for the Fed basis points. Let's see when they're next. So the meetings that we're looking for are the ones with the asterisk, right? This asterisk indicates that they have a summary of economic projection. What we just read. That's what the regular meetings just have, you know, a quick statement that which basically says the same thing over. We don't get another future projections meeting until June 7th. 3 months away till the next projections meeting. That's a lot of data that we'll get between now and including the tariff implementation that should be into effect as well. So we just got to wait and see. I'm betting that the lowest rates will go before a cut is going to be into the 4.6, 4.5 area. But that would mean that we had overwhelmingly good economic, because right now, you know, the rates where they're at, they'll probably just maintain here. Right? The treasury doesn't typically move drastically unless it's affected by economic news. All right, unless we get really good news or really bad, rates are going to stay in the 6.7 to 6.8 range. We get bad data, it's going to increase. We get good data, it'll drop. I don't see it going higher than 7% or much higher than 7%. And I don't see it going lower than 6.5. So you got that range right there, which means, I mean, only reason I'm saying this is that if you are shopping for something, just realize that, you know, if you can get rates below 6.75, you should actively be going out trying to get yourself a deal. Rates are a little bit high. You could probably wait a little bit, and if they go closer to 7%, you probably wait for them to go back down. It has been a fucking while. Has been a while that they've been close to 7%, right? All of 2024 basically, and for the majority of this year. All right, anyways, so let's start doing some work, man. Start doing some work. So today what we are going to do is put some ideas to use, put some of our email data to use. We have a crap ton of neighborhood data that we've gotten from MLS. We were working on East Boston. We got a crap ton of neighborhood data here: annual sales data, annual listing data, price point data, changes, all that stuff. We got all that already in here. Now we just need to like implement it. The way that I did it right is I created I didn't do this alone too. I also have interns and virtual assistants really helped me out with this a lot. Why can't I find East Boston, bro? Because it was all the way down here. So we're preparing this, right? And the idea is to take this Google Slides and put it onto our IDX web. All right, so right here we have our neighborhood audit report. This is the thing that I originally put together by the end of the year. First off, that's not good. It says audit report 2020. It is not for 2023 data. That was the 2023 data, I guess. All right, anyways. Yeah, so basically we're gonna put this and host this live, run some ads, try to get some people to check it out and maybe give us, a ring. Right, so all it does, this is what I'm doing right now is I'm breaking this apart because there is 104 fucking pages. Nobody wants to go through 104 pages to find their thing. Hold on, I'm getting a work call maybe, or it's a scam call, who knows. Hello. Once you hear it click, you hear a beep on the other line, you just hang up. What's up, Thor? What's up at tomorrow at 2 p.m. All right, so back to this. Yeah, so what I'm doing, right, this 104 pages is basically every neighborhood in Boston. It has Boston market statistics. You can do like North End. Let me show you the table, right? So it has every neighborhood and the breakdown of those, right? The single family home, historical sales data, price points, stuff like that, year-to-year changes, has the overall Boston market, and then it has the individual neighborhood. But my idea here is that it's too big. We need to to make it individual by the neighborhood. So what we're doing, this was my friend Henry Choi's idea, past president of ARIA. So what we're gonna do is we are keeping sort of the theme, right? So we have this report, and it's gonna be specifically for East Boston. It's gonna have the Boston neighborhood data, right? So overall, all neighborhoods included and averaged out, medianed out, blah blah. And then it's also going to have the East Boston, right? So it's going to be neighborhood specific. If you want to look for East Boston data, all you got to do is click the East Boston report. Now at the end of this report, it'll have the city rankings. It'll have the city rankings, and then it'll have the location of the neighborhood, right? So this is city ranking single family homes, recorded average sale. All right, so East Boston was number 13. It had the 13th highest average single family home price, or single family home average price of a single family home. You get what I'm saying. Yeah, we'll have to double check this data as well, make sure everything is up to date. Dog wants right now, but yeah, so this is the idea. We're gonna put this report out, we're gonna link it up to our constant contact, we're gonna try to grow our newsletter. So idea is finish up all these neighborhoods, all of these stupid neighborhoods, finish up their slides, update them with current data, and then get them onto our website. Consumers can actually find, oh, that's the neighborhood audit report for that. There's the 2024 neighborhood. Anyhow, that's what we're gonna do. So if you want to hang out, chill, chat, feel free to. I'm just gonna be over here doing some work, talking to myself, and having fun. Oh, also all this data, just so y'all know where it comes from. So for any Asians out there who are looking to put together something for your particular neighborhood, MLS is phenomenal. MLS is like the market. All the data on MLS is the market data. All right, so all you got to do is go over here to market reports. So in the market reports, I have a few of them saved up. I do a year to date for, so you're starting off 1/1 whatever date, 12/31 whatever date. That's going to be your full year. You do total listed, right? Because the ones that we have over here are, we have listing data, total listed, listed median, listed average, how many price changes were done in that year. And then we have total sales, sales median, sales average, sales price to original price ratio. So here we'll just run one for last year. Single family homes, total listings, 10,058 listings in, whoa, you know what I forgot to do? The goddamn zip code. So here we put the zip code. Oh, you guys don't see the pop-up menu. That's 02128 is the zip code for East Boston. So now we have this specifically going to East Boston. Now I do a search. 28 single family homes were listed in East Boston between 2024 in the year 20. Median price 24,900. Average price 815,000. 128. 724 900. 815. 190. We were going to do how many? 11 price changes. Now this over here is our listing price point area. This is what tells us how many listings came out in these individual brackets. So between 400k and 450,000 there was only a single family home listed in that price range, and it lasted for 27 days on market. 450 to 500k, only one. 500 to 600, 4, so on and so forth, right? So we get all that data and we are able to come up with these charts, right? So we have the data, we do it for every single year. We went all the way back to 2005, got that. Now we can see what a historical chart, right? How many listings were back in the day in 2005? You had 118 single family homes being listed in East Boston. Now that number's completely gone, which is insane to think about, right? We used to be able to get a single family home in Eastie, but even back in like 2021, 52, bro, one of the busiest years in recorded history. So yeah, the price point data right here is very, very nice. This is units sold. Yeah. Don't even. No, that's days on market. So in our thing, I don't like doing charts for listing data. Besides this, I like doing total listings versus total sales. But listing data, I don't really care how much people are listing their property for. I care how much they're selling it. That's ultimately what actually dictates the value of a house. How much was somebody willing to pay for it, not how much you want to sell for it, right? Like that's like going on eBay to like value something and you're only looking at the bids instead of the actual sales data. But yeah, so that's what we're gonna do. We've already checked that to ensure that that is correct. Let's switch this up to sold. Look at the sold data for the year. 18 total listings, 650, 702, 96% sales price to SP to OP. 18, 650, 702, 150, 96. All right, so data hasn't changed since I made this. We're doing this. We did this already in January, but data is slow. It comes in slowly. Some people just are lazy and they don't list their properties on MLS once they have actually gone under agreement or have updated the sale. So data changes all the time, right? Like if I pull some stuff up from maybe 2 years ago, that might have changed. That's why I try to refresh this data every year. I'll run the entire report typically at the end of the year. Before I do this, right? Because like this is one thing that we do as we create these things. This report, you're talking about an annual report. This comes out only once a year or twice a year, right? The first time that you put it out and in like the beginning of the year in January, and then you do an updated one in Q2. But what I implement my data into my weekly news. I give a quick economic report to recap what is happening with economic news. Then I give a report on the actual boss, right? So you're talking about just a few paragraphs of writing that I do every Sunday, and then I release. And then we give a recap for the week. We give inventory statistics for each section. Right, so single families, condominium inventory, multifamily inventory market. We give some charts over here, right? So like new listings, how many new listings are coming out in each sector, listing and pending sales statistics, year-to-year comparison. We just give out a few things. Average interest rate, we always let them know where the interest rates start the week, and then a shameless plug for myself. And then there's some links here, links to right, like this link over here carries them directly to my website. I hope it does, at least, right? to a quick search on my website for them to look at properties. This link right here is the one that takes us to the neighborhood audit report for 2024. So we're going to try to break that in and get them to go to this new report. And then over here is a what I hope is a working Calendly link. Oh, thank God it is. So all that info, you know, we just send this out fucking once a week. And I mean, like, we have 3,700 people who are reading it, right? Only 3,500 read it this week. You know, we expect that some of those people are going to want to work with us. And I get random phone calls from people just, they want to chat about the market. Very, very cool. I mean, like, it's, I value this a little bit more than I value, like, my social media engagement, right? Because these people are actually reading what the hell I'm saying and really getting educated in the market through, like, the information that I'm giving. So I think that they hold me to a higher standard than somebody like, than they hold the people on Instagram. So we do get deals from this. We get clients and we get long-term clients, right? These people are going to be following us for a while. I mean, like, not that many people unsubscribe. Right? If you're on this because you actually want the data. It's a little weird. If you're asking how to get people to sign up for this, well, once they go into your CRM, you can import them from your CRM. Oh, I can't show you guys my CRM. That has actual contact information for people. But once you import them from your CRM into the, let me close this shit out before I click it by accident. Once you get them into your CRM, when they click on your website, depending on how you get them into your CRM, right? The way that my CRM gets fed is I run like some ads on social media or something like that, or Google pay-per-clicks, and I get them to click on my website, give me their information, and through them giving me their information, they're also consenting to getting some ads from me. So that once they go into the CRM, go into my website, or go into the CRM through my website or any of my promotions, they get automatically signed up for my newsletter, and then they decide whether or not it's valuable to them. Not that many people say no. Some of them say I never signed up, or this information doesn't interest me. But you're looking at a high retention rate because you're giving high value info, right? One, it's vetted information that you've actually did your due diligence in putting together, and then you had it verified by another colleague or something like that, or someone in the profession, right? If you show someone that you're working on this, they're definitely, right, they're going to want to help you out. If it's someone in your industry or in your job, in your office, right, you show this to your boss being like, hey, I'm trying to put this together, they're going to be like, definitely, dude, I'll check your info, I'll help you out. And if they don't do that and they don't push you forward to like try to make something like this, then they probably suck. Or I don't know, maybe they got big pocket, have a client list that doesn't care about the value of that. This right here, all this info, all this vetting that I do is what separates me legit from like every single other agent that I've come across. And not to toot my own horn, but I don't think that I've met an agent who's actually better versed than me in the Boston. And that's just because I do my fucking homework, yo. Every Sunday, I'll be doing my homework, and right now we are just going to complete it. So that's enough of that. I'm done with the explanations. If y'all have any questions, feel free to leave a comment or something like that. Now I'm just gonna chill and do my work. Feel free to stop in, chat, leave a line, do whatever. God damn. Hey, you guys know the last time I posted a video was in August? We done a bunch of lives since then, but that's crazy. We've been slacking.
An amateur does it till they get it right. A professional does it till they can't get it wrong.
Hollywood Gold.